Major's out here like, y'all, I'm tired today.
I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I need to hide that. But crap, what am I moving? I'm moving everything but the thing I need to move. Jeez. Whew. It's a time. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mark Summers, Major Lennox, joined by KKS Gaming, joined by Ciniac, and it is time for Tech Talk Thursdays. It's episode number 5, which again, I'm now realizing I forgot to change that number 2 because, yeah, boy, things are weird. It's a weird time. When is it ever not weird? Oh, there is no number there. Okay, cool. Yes, it is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. Professional. Look, Telia.
It is the 7th day of our, I believe this is Asian American, well, like Asian and Pacific Islander History Month.
Shout out to all our folks. How y'all doing?
Yep.
So shout out to all of y'all, especially in these trying times.
Oh
yes,
yeah, very trying.
Speaking of Asian Pacific Islanders Heritage Month, I know I'm not sure if it's related. But I know we have Ganjuli
It is
streaming immediately after this at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Stream Ambassador doing the thing. But yes, so I do want to point out, as of course, last week you noticed that we got a new overlay. It's great. Thank you to Anka. Again, shouts out to Anka. She finally gave us an identity at the bottom. We now have an identity. We now have our names. It was technically ready last week, except the names were in the wrong spot, and I didn't feel like moving video feeds. So I asked Anka, hey, can you fix that, please? So she did. She put us in the right spot.
It's the GOAT.
Well, all right, since we only have less than 2 hours, I think we should dig into some things. We've got some big stuff here. Not a lot in the way of tech, but boy, do we have some gaming stuff to talk about. So let's get into it, shall we? Starting off with our one and only tech story for this week. Apparently, Twitter for iOS is testing a new feature that warns you about posting language that could be harmful. Twitter has announced that it is testing a feature that aims to discourage users from sending a reply using language that could be offensive or hurtful. And this is how it works. When a user hits send on a reply that includes language that could be harmful, the Twitter app for iOS will show a pop-up message. Users will then have the opportunity to revise the tweet and remove the language or post it anyway. So essentially, you can be an asshole or you can just choose to ignore it. You just got an extra step.
Yep.
So these irresponsible Bamas, why would you be out here like this? Like, someone has said something terribly racist and you feel like making your feelings known about it. Are you sure? As Clippy pops up on your Twitter screen, are you sure that you want to send this reply? It seems that you're angry at the time and you might regret this later. No, I don't. You want to know what would have been a better move instead of implementing a feature that just goes, are you sure that you meant to send that clap back, would be, why don't you do anything that the people who are marginalized on your platform have asked you to do for like the last 10 years? You are a private platform that can just ban people from saying shitty things, but you didn't do that. You just went, Let's just make sure we're not mean to other people when we hit the reply button. Throw the whole thing away. I'm upset.
Speak the words. Speak the words.
It's just really what, these platforms, like, they want, they claim a language like a fairness. Like, they want to be fair to everybody. They want to make sure they still have, like, just an open, like, people are still able to have some open discourse, and they don't want to trample on people's First Amendment rights, but they forget that they, like you said, they're a private entity where the First Amendment does not apply. Like, the First Amendment applies to the government, not private companies. Like, people should not be concerned about their First Amendment rights, but what's going to happen if they express those First Amendment rights and they're super fucking problematic.
Right.
Like, I shouldn't.
And it's one of those things, like, you know that it's going to be something that targets the wrong people because it targets the people who say something back, not the people who said something in the first place. Are we going to talk about that or not? If they had implemented that with, hey, the thing that you're about to post, not reply to, but repost, is going to sound like you're angry in this posting you're about to make initially. Are you sure you don't want to rethink that? Even that would have been better than this reply nonsense. I'm just mad that it's replies.
I mean, yeah, there's that. And also, again, as they mentioned at the bottom of the article, they still refuse to put an edit button.
That's needed.
An edit
Honestly,
that is needed.
I am very...
That's needed.
I am of two minds about that. I can see where when you're making a typo, having that edit button would be nice. But the way that some of these people wild out about things and then are quick to delete stuff, I don't want to even think about the amount of gaslighting people would do if they had a button that they could edit so that if someone said something back, they were like, that's not what I said.
I mean, but I would imagine it would be something like Slack or Discord where it will notify you if the tweet had been edited.
That would be good.
If they did that, then I might be okay with it. It's
like,
just
I can tell that you changed it. I don't know what you changed it from, but I know you changed it.
Right.
And I think that would be okay, but they're not going to think that far.
Plus these bad boys. I mean, when they delete tweets, there's cache there, so people can go back and be like, and people are really quick with the screenshots. Be like, so
you see my documents folder, I see.
And then for me, like, I use TweetDeck and the Windows knockoff of TweetDeck to where, like, that cache is totally a thing where somebody has I'll see two versions of the same tweet because somebody posted it, deleted it, and then they edited it. Or like, it's like, also to ask someone, say, yo, did you post this? Like, nah, like they be cool to like, nah, but it's right here. Oh, yeah, you're right. I did. I deleted it. Like, dude, like, don't lie. Just, it's right there. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I just noticed you put the wrong link on there.
And that's especially true if you are a person who uses a third-party application to look at these tweets and not like Twitter itself, because I'll just be like, I just saw you post that twice, and I can only respond to one of these.
Yeah, it's sometimes difficult. Or you'd be like, why can't I do this? Why can't I reply? Why does it say that it's failing? And then you see like 2 seconds later, the same tweet shows up. Like, oh, okay. Gotcha.
There'll be something that happens when you'll have like notifications and like you'll have people follow people's notifications and you get notifications for that. And I'll like hit like on something and then like somebody deleted it and it's like failure to load or this tweet does not exist. You can still easily go boop 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 capture if you need to. If somebody says something suspect.
So you just screenshot it, post it on Twitter. Say, I like this.
Be like, hey, that thing you said you didn't feel comfortable about saying it.
That's dope.
I'm gonna retweet that and I'm gonna be like, hey, I like what you said. Say it with your chest. But I know you felt the way. You didn't feel like the best way was. You probably felt a little hot about it. But I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna be like, this. Whatever this person said, I agree with it.
I got you. I got you.
I got you.
Oh boy, Twitter, what are we doing? Just like so I watched that show Silicon Valley over the weekend, and
I
it's
need to
like
catch
just
back up on it.
it's free if you go to if you download the HBO app on well, like I have Apple TV, but the HBO subscription service, was it HBO Go, HBO Now? I forget. They got HBO Max coming out like next month, but
Ooh, debating on that.
yeah, like the latest HBO app that's out now, they have a free tier, and Silicon Valley is on there for free. I'm going through Ballers now.
Yeah, they have that. They have that on Hulu where it's like called
Yeah,
HBO Unlocked.
yeah. So
I
like
think this is perfect time for
those
you.
shows are definitely free on there too. So the way I have Hulu set up is I disabled the autoplay, because it will, if you finish a show and that's it for that series, it then plays a random TV show just automatically, and I hated that. So I turned off the autoplay. But that sucks if I want to watch things in a series. So luckily my Apple TV, when it detects that I watched something on HBO through Hulu, it'll then give me the HBO version of that show. So then I'll launch an HBO app, and then I can just do an autoplay until the end of the series. So I don't have to use Hulu anymore.
Highly recommend Ballers. Highly recommend Silicon Valley. If you like even a little bit curious about football, highly recommend Ballers.
Oh my god, Ballers is amazing.
Dwayne Johnson
so good
is
I can watch it again.
so good on television. Like, man, so good. Highly recommend. And Denzel Washington's son is on that too. I ain't gonna tell you who.
I was debating on whether or not that was him.
It was him. Yeah,
okay.
from Black Klansman. Yeah, it was him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, enough of the Silicon Valley bullshit. It's time to move on to why we are all here today, why we have all gathered.
Yes. And
it is that Microsoft has had their first of many Xbox inside Xbox 2020 streams, and they showed us what I am assuming is a launch lineup for the Xbox Series X from their third-party partners.
Also, let's take a moment to appreciate that about half of that presentation is, we know how much you get paid by that camera quality.
Listen.
They had one person looking like Final Fantasy VII and the other person right next to them in panel looking like the remake. It was a whole problem.
Looking like the demo disc.
Wow.
Oh god.
So
my guy.
Microsoft they put out their first of many inside Xbox going into Xbox Series X, and of course, a few episodes ago we put out there that they patented a design or a logo for the Xbox Series X. And I guess today, or maybe a couple of days ago when they were tweeting about things, they confirmed that is the logo for the Series X. What you will see on most of these optimized for Series X games. Just out of the gate, so we can, kind of do a little housekeeping. These do appear to be the launch titles for the console. They are available with smart delivery. So again, these games will be on both Xbox One and Xbox Series X. You can buy it once and it'll be available on either one. So you can, if you buy it on Xbox One, you play it there, then you upgrade to an X or Series X, you'll get that version instead. I want to say there was something else. I think that's the only thing that those have in common, that all these games have in common, is that they're launch titles, and they're available for smart delivery. What's going on, Darkside Tana? How you doing, man? All right, so let's see. All right,
Are we going to talk about those games individually, or are we just going to talk about the overall recap there?
So we can go through this. So this article it was a live blog apparently when I linked it, but they've changed it since then. So the content that was in here is not the same as it was when I pulled it up. So, but I think they do have everything kind of still in order. So, yeah. So they announced games like Bright Memory Infinite, which apparently was a game that was developed by one person that looked like every game in existence, all in one. I think
Right.
Kev compared it to a game you would see, a game that you would see on an episode of NCIS.
Yeah, any game that's like, it's basically like what video games to look like to people who never play video games. Just a bunch of shooting, quick action, sword slicing. You know, it's using like something called Killinator 3000 or something like that. Like just something that we have to
Where
have
the
an
main
episode
plot is
about
something
video
straight out of an
games.
80s movie.
Yeah, it's like we have
It's
to have a yeah.
One of
like a
those
few-
movies look like Total Recall, but creepy.
Yeah. And it's like we have to have our obligatory video game episode because that means we're cutting edge and the young people will like us. And hey, fellow kids, and this one of your video games? And I'm like, yeah, I literally saw a episode like that with another show also on TV, also on CBS. And the gameplay looked just like that gameplay right there. It's
yeah,
like,
it was first person. The guy had a gun, and then had some melee weapon. It may have been a sword. I don't know, because he was going up against like Rise, Son of
They
Rome.
had like a sword, they had a gun, a sword, and a grappling hook.
yeah, and he was fighting like Roman centurions and
And then like towards the end of it, he got in a DeLorean.
yeah.
That looked like the one that was from Back from the Future, not just any DeLorean. It looked like it had a flux capacitor on it.
It's like,
Like,
where we're going, we don't need roads. I'm like, sure.
It was weird, but yeah, like this game was made from one Chinese developer. Let's see, apparently it's coming to PC too, and the owners of the previous Bright Memory title will get the new title for free. Wait, there's another one? This is a sequel? Wait, what? What is going on?
They did a lot of the games that they did seem to have like.
Oh, I remember this one.
Is there a thing here?
I think I do remember that. No. I don't know. I might remember. I think I might have seen gameplay of this before, but apparently,
Which one?
Bright Memory. Apparently it's not a sequel. It's just, I guess, like an update to it.
Huh.
So it's $10 on Steam. But yeah, apparently this game was made by one developer in China.
And apparently there was an early access version of it on Steam.
Yeah, so like we're looking. Yeah, I have it playing now. Of the Steam page up. So yeah, this game is definitely something that just jumps between genres just out of nowhere.
Very much so. I was very confused. Well, I was confused during a lot of the games, but I was particularly confused by this one. I was like,
a lot of them just seem to be some people. I know that there were a lot of kind of horror games. So if that's your genre, this lineup is going to be magic for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, like, horror isn't necessarily my genre, but if you like the Silent Hill games, if you're into things like Dead by Daylight, if like any of that, if Visage, any of that stuff was your type of game, like a good 2/3 at least of this lineup is going to be like, just go ahead and plan your budget now for these things.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on, we've got Dirt 5. Apparently they've got Nolan North and Troy Baker to voice characters in this game. So I like racing games. It apparently now has a story. So yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. But this one right here, Scorn.
yeah.
So there's a Steam page for it. I'm not sure if there's there is a video for it. So
yeah, that was a lot of like.
Yeah, so this is the trailer that was shown today. This is
Yeah.
So apparently a lot of people have been comparing it. Hold on, I'm gonna pop back out so I can go to the page because I think it's in here. Yeah, so H.R. Geiger is the art is the artist that they're referencing, and like they're saying like it looks like a lot of his art. And I looked at his art and like, yeah, this is definitely that. This is like his art just come to life, and like this is when I think during our little Discord stream we were doing, I was like, yeah, we need to stop giving developers polygons because we don't need this.
Oof. It was freaky, man.
Like what is this?
I'm like, Jesus, what is happening? I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, this is not good, and I don't want to watch this. I'm just gonna really just close out of that tab. Just that tab doesn't exist. But yeah, so this is what kicked off the horror stream bit. Reminds me, and that's the thing. So some of his art has been like of like the xenomorph, like just it's been like Let's see here, man. Actually no, fitting given the clear influence from alien designer H.R. Geiger. Like that's the dude.
That's the guy.
That's the fucking dude.
That's him.
I didn't realize he designed the alien.
He did.
Wow.
He really did.
Wow. This is crazy. So yeah, if you dig alien and other weird body horror shit, that game's for you. Next one up is Chorus, which apparently is like some space flight combat simulator. With a young lady who looks like she has not had sleep in quite some time. Tattoos all down her eyes.
You know, when I looked at it, because I kind of looked at that one again, it kind of reminds me a bit of I mean, it's not a lot direct influences, but it kind of reminds me of like 40K, like Warhammer 40K, in a way, where it's just like basically just tattooed, scarred, genetically modified troopers and religious pretext. And I was like,
right. I mean, it's a game called Chorus.
Yeah, but it just doesn't. But unlike 40K, it just doesn't have like spaceships with like flying buttresses on it. It just be like, like bell towers and skulls and stuff. But it's like, I definitely got a tone of that, like Wing Commander meets 40K. How was it? I was like, okay.
So yeah, this was coming out 2021. Of course, I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't have to go into this one, but Madden 21 has been confirmed coming to next-gen consoles. Thank you, Patrick Mahomes, for letting us know, bringing the good news, because we were all so worried if an annualized series was going to come to the next generation of consoles. I was so concerned. So worried that we weren't going to get Madden on Xbox Series X.
Can I just get a quick check here, Major? How did you really feel about that? I just wanted to make sure we were clear.
That Madden's coming to Xbox Series X? How do I feel? I feel amazing. It's a relief. I mean, I'm definitely going to play this on PC, but where I didn't have to worry at all, but relieved. So relieved that Patrick Mahomes delivered us the good news.
Yo, I'm just going to tell you this right now, because they're going to make you pay full price for that game without a discount. If you boot up that game and the only thing they did was a minor upgrade to the graphics and a palette swap for uniforms, burn it to the ground. Burn EA to the ground. I said it at me. My address is like y'all. We can't do this. We can't do this. What were we talking about earlier today? Just be like, listen, just release the game and add just like whatever.
Make it a
like updates or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's make it Madden and then be like, and then be like, here's the, pay $40 for the updates.
No, 30.
And
no, 40 is too much.
30. Or you can be like, oh, here's Madden, free to play. We get the updates every year. Pay $30 for the updates, or you can pay X amount a month, for EA Access, and it's included in EA Access.
Yeah,
Pay $15 a month, and you go there. And people like Hype Beast would not even mind with that. Set it on auto bill pay, never have to worry about it.
yeah. Just have Madden forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to re-up on EA. I need to re-up on Origin Access because I do miss playing Madden and FIFA for those who are, overseas and really don't care too much. Then there's this one. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. And I'm actually going to play this one from the beginning. Because the most interesting part is the beginning of this trailer.
I mean, I was like, did we stumble into like We Happy Few and didn't nobody told me?
That's what I was concerned about because this. Wow, I mean,
Jesus.
Are we really doing this? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Are we really doing this in the middle of a show? Okay. Anywho, sorry, my wife just walked in and decided she wanted to clean my office in the middle of a recording. Things are changing. Things are changing around here.
Oh my
but yeah,
God,
so
that cringe.
Yeah, this is really weird. And then it goes normal after, like relatively normal after that.
Relatively normal.
But yeah, I did not know what to think about that. But yeah, so apparently if you like the Vampire Masquerade series, it's now here apparently people are just dancing to murder because that's what we do in video games nowadays, I guess.
Oh, okay. So here, because that's kind of a branching of that whole tabletop thing. So there are certain in the world of Vampire the Masquerade, there are certain types of vampires that only feed, as it were, when they're in certain places or during certain scenes. And one of them is I only do things in artistic scenarios. So things like at a museum, at a photo shoot, or in the case of this video, at a club. Like that's a whole trait that they have.
So this is based off of a board game?
No, this is based off of not necessarily a board game, but a tabletop game made by White Wolf. It's part of what they call the World of Darkness.
Oh, okay. Because I honestly never heard, like I've heard of like this whole Bloodlines and just because it's vampires and it's just like, yeah, I'm good. I can pass on all of this. But yeah, did not know that. You didn't even bother to mention it in the story, but I guess you have to be in the know.
Yeah, I was like, I've seen stuff about Bloodlines, but then when I seen like the people hanging around, I'm thinking like, what kind of context is this? I thought they were just sucking people blood and
like this
doing some thing. What my man got people all hung up like Christmas ornaments. What?
Yeah,
what?
That was
There's a lot of you'd have to know the background about how all these different tribes work to know why they did that, but I'm just like, ooh, that is unsettling. But I know why they did that, but that's unsettling. One of these people like looked like the beginning of Watchmen with just this really like it might as well have been Mariah Carey singing All I Want for Christmas while this person was doing the absolute most of this whole family of people. You're just like, oh, look at these puppets. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, no, I don't like this at all.
That's some Christmas with the Joker type stuff. We got people all tied up and be like,
and then we got a palate cleanser, Call of the Sea. Not entirely sure what this one's about, but apparently, you're just going on an adventure with the sea. It looked kind of slightly spooky, but kind of gave off some mist, the Witness vibes. Of course, you got this sunken ship and some weird.
I got some low
little mini
Shadow of the
hands.
from it too.
I was thinking Firewatch as well. Like I was thinking like, like explore this explore this world, solve these puzzles, don't die, you know, do these things. Like a nice walking simulator. Like, oh, okay, this is nice.
And then that end
This is
part made me
pleasant.
think it was Shape of Water
Oh yeah, with the
with the webbed
with,
hands.
with the merman hands.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is narrative-led mystery game testing with finding your lost husband among the jungles, oceans, and islands of the South Pacific. So yeah, that was a nice little palette cleanser, and then we got the Ascent, which I said seemed like Cyberpunk 2077 for those who do not have PCs powerful enough to play it. Yeah, very, very steampunk. Actually, I thought this game was Cyberpunk initially until they actually showed gameplay from it. But yeah, very, very cyberpunky. Seems like isometric shooter. Yeah, it looks like a shoot 'em up.
Yeah, like a action RPG-esque game. I mean, I was very into it. I was like, okay.
I mean, like it looks like if Cyberpunk made a mobile game, or if CD Projekt Red made a mobile game version of Cyberpunk, or if Cyberpunk came out for the Switch, like this was like their, like, Redux version, or like whatever, like their alternate version of that game is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cyber 2077 isn't enough dystopian sci-fi for you. The Ascent may have you covered. With dirty, high-tech cities, alien populations living side by side, and talk of supernovas causing havoc, will the Ascent be an imitator or an innovator? We'll find out soon enough. And then we got The Medium. Going back to horror. Apparently, two videos came out with this one during that presentation where, it was all nice, and it started off nice and happy initially. Well, actually, no, I forgot. This is just the intro to that trailer, so this didn't show up in that stream. But yeah, it was nice. You got, woman getting an ultrasound, seeing a baby, and then of course, you just know, something was going to happen. Like I would not let myself be happy with this. And then when that scene changed, it got all dark. I'm like, yep, something ain't right.
Like, no, I'm good actually. I am. You're just like, I'm good. I'm so good right now.
Like, I was so glad when it got dark and you see her prayers. Okay, she's still pregnant, so that's good. She didn't lose the baby. But then, of course, you seeing her praying in this church and things are happening. So, okay, what is this? Just like Rosemary Baby, the game?
I mean, usually what I took from that is like, because the name of the game is Medium. Like, oh, okay, so you're in the hospital, you're trying to have a baby, and all of a sudden you just see like the Constantine movie version of hell. It's like, I see that there's shenanigans here that you don't want to be involved in.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, this is from Bloober Team. These are the same people who made Layers of Fear and Observer. So get ready for some things that are probably gonna just fuck with you.
Jump out. Yeah, it's gonna jump off.
I'm not a fan. Because like a lot of the gameplay video that they showed from this game, like you couldn't really tell like what the baby had to do with anything. Like the baby seemed to only be in that trailer, and that was about it. So unless you play the baby grown up, I don't know. Like that baby had nothing to do with anything. Next up, we've got Scarlet Nexus, which I feel is the developers, rejection to marriage, or just everything floral. Because they compared it to Code Vein, or a lot of just other anime, slice 'em ups, beat 'em ups, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there was definitely some Code Vein. There was a little bit of like Astral Chain seasoning
Yeah,
in here. There's a lot of that.
but
Little Shin Megami Tensei for flavor.
but you're like fighting flowers. So this is coming from Bando
So imagine
Namco.
like the monsters from Silent Hill, but instead of pyramids on their head, it's bouquets of Easter flowers. It's like, why though?
Yeah.
Mother's Day is like around the corner from now. Are you sending her one of these? Why would you do this?
I was just gonna bring up the fact that Mother's Day was coming out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what your mother would love: sentient, deadly hell flowers.
From Bandai Namco, this unsettling action game sees you fighting off flowery enemies to protect humanity. It has an art style clearly informed by modern 3D anime with a teenage protagonist with the gift of psychokinesis, laying waste to some sort of sentient plant life with human legs? We don't get it, but from the outset, this looks like a hack and slash adventure worth a lazy afternoon. It's been confirmed for Smart Delivery too. And of course, all of this is... Oh, speaking of things I kind of missed, I was looking up at Medium's description here. Medium does have the soundtrack, the composer behind the Silent Hill games in it.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who love Silent Hill, love the music of Silent Hill, Medium might be
That
for
was
you.
that was Yamaoka. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. Which that's a big get.
What is it? Hold on. Did I get the developers mixed up? Because Medium says that this is from the developer behind Blair Witch. Did Bloober do Blair Witch? Because I know they're Layers of Fear and Observer. I didn't think they did Blair Witch. I don't know. Maybe this is.
I'm gonna.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that might be a
Blair
typo, or I don't know. Like
Witch.
Blair Witch may have just slipped under everybody's radar. I didn't think they did that though.
No, not the movie. The game. Thank you.
Gonna get the fact checking squad on that.
Blooper did Blair Witch.
Okay, along with
August last year.
along with Layers of Fear and Observer.
Mm. Let me see.
Am I getting this wrong?
They certainly
Okay.
did Layers of Fear and Observer.
Oh, so they snuck a game in. I did. All right, good on them then. I guess.
Good deal.
I don't know why they would want to. I don't know why Tech Radar would want to bring up the two better games than Blair Witch. None of which I'm going to play, but I still think that more people.
So just so y'all know, please do not send Major Linux any suggestions for like movies in the horror genre.
I'll just ignore you.
Games,
I will
do jump
ignore
scares.
you.
Don't send this man Resident Evil. Nothing.
We'll ignore. Look, now if it was a horror video game, I'll watch it. If somebody was like streaming it, I would watch it, but don't ask me to play.
I'm talking about people sending you the game and being like, "Here, we got you a gift. We'd like to see you play this on stream one day."
All right, so how do I regift on Steam?
How do you what?
How do you regift on Steam? Like, how do you gift a game to somebody else after it was gifted to you? I know plenty of people who would love free horror
Be like,
games.
I'm going to just, something. I'm just going to pay it for it. I'm going to just return that kind of thing and give it to someone else, please.
Heard you. Look, I heard you like this game. You should play this on stream. Or you know what? I'll just send them all to Dark Side. That's what I'll do. He likes horror games. I'll send it to Dark Side.
Good deal.
Will Major play DDLC? What is DDLC? Next up is Second Extinction, which we all initially thought was Turok.
It was giving off really strong Turok vibes.
Yeah, it was.
Which one?
Huh?
Extinction.
Yeah, like this.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
the
a
one that we were
dinosaur
just
game.
like, we're waiting for them to bust out like the like this is definitely Turok. We're waiting for them to come up with the coronal scepter, but no,
But no.
they're just like we're just gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, sure.
This is what happens when we go back and take back Jurassic Park.
Do.
Granted, like these dinosaurs, they only look, they all just look like raptors.
Huh?
Like,
They're like the remind of them raptors in like Jurassic Park 3, where they're all like mutated.
Yeah, like I'm not seeing any other variation, but then again, they may be kind of holding back on that. Well, never mind. That one looked big. The one at the end looked pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Doki. No, I'm definitely not
No.
gonna play Doki Doki Literature Club. Just no. I don't even want to watch that.
Mm-mm.
I don't like things that just start just fucking with me from outside of the game. Like I got paranoid playing Super Hot. I was so glad when I was done. Like I turned it off and went looking for my wife just to make sure I was still in the real world for a second. And that was
Honey.
I was playing like on a mouse and keyboard, not even the VR version, because that's just different.
Mm-hmm.
The VR version of that game is different. Like I'm playing mouse and keyboard. I'm still trying to make sure I'm in the right in the right reality. Next up, and I think we all got this one. We all got this one off the bat, but I wanted to say it was something different because we were wrong, which each game up until this point. But Yakuza Like a Dragon has been announced.
Yeah.
Coming to the West.
Yeah.
For Xbox
I have been
Series
following
X.
this game. I've been following this game super closely. I am very excited about playing this because I have been dabbling in the Yakuza series for a while. So yeah, I really do like that. I like Komura. I like Kamura. Like, I mean, this man literally said, I'm gonna stick up for you, boss. I'll take the hit. I'll do my time. I'll do my nickel. I'll do my time. I'll take my lumps. And came out of jail and was like, ah ha ha, nobody. My man's came out and it was like an old man walking down, like, yeah, right there. Old man crossing, like, walking down the sidewalk.
As the dude come out and then it's like, all right, yep, I'm gonna shoot you now.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. It's...
Also, I just now know he pulled a bat out of the sidewalk like it was Excalibur.
Yeah.
And also, tell me why this dude looks like the Japanese Lil Dicky. Oh, but the biggest news of all when this game was announced was that Majima is in this game too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And apparently they have some giant super space laser.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely that was definitely something new to me because I'm like, when did Yakuza have orbital death laser satellites?
Again, Yakuza has now jumped into Saints Row territory.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'll play this one more than I play Saints Row.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, it's turn-based. So it's a turn-based RPG system. That's what's so really cool about it, is that, you know, you have like movements in a fight, and then you have like, I guess you would say like, not say like limit breaks, but you would have like ultimate moves or finisher moves. And yeah, it's really like the characters are like a homeless man, a literal woman with purse, and there are purse related attacks. And like I want to say a security guard. Oh yeah, I think he's an ex-cop. I think that's what he's like, a retired cop. And this ex-Yakuza guy. And I'm like, I like this. It's so good.
So yeah, apparently this game is already out in Japan, and you get typos because they say it's out on the PS5 in Japan.
Mm-hmm. It'll probably come out. It'll probably be like 4, and then probably a 5
I'm pretty sure.
remake.
I know it's out on the PS4. It's just like, yep, it's out in Japan on the PS5. Like, what? Huh? No. So other confirmed titles, of course, these were not on that stream, but of course you got Halo Infinite. We'll probably find out more about their first party titles next month. But yeah, Halo Infinite, of course, Warframe, because duh.
Why not?
It's
Fashion frame. We're out here playing Warcraft. I'm sorry, Warframe for the clothing and the armor and the weapons and the aesthetics.
Mhm.
All right, let's be real about here.
True.
Y'all haven't tried to play
Yeah.
through that adventure since day one. You got to day two. It's like, ooh, I can make this all match in black and red. Yes, let's do that.
they're looking at y'all, Black Oni, Pro Quesadilla.
Mhm. Call him out. Call him out.
Yosu specifically.
Call him out.
Like I know Black Oni, I think he's Warframe partner or something like that. That dude just stay on that Warframe. I'll be looking at it. It was like those scenes in that one scene in Dragon Ball Z. We're talking about like if you close your eyes, you miss the fight. That's me in Warframe. Like they move so fast. It's like I close my eyes, like, yo, how did we end up on 2 different ships by now? How did y'all just move too damn fast with this shit?
Mm,
And of course, Cyberpunk 2077.
yes.
This Gothic game. Not entirely sure what this is, but it's coming out from THQ Nordic.
I'm just gonna say this as an aside. Generally speaking, can we just, you know what? I'm gonna hold that thought. I have opinions about Cyberpunk right now because Cyberpunk is on some extra nonsense, and I'm just like, can we just skip it until they correct some stuff?
Okay, I mean, well, all right. So we're here. Might as well. I mean, it was a slow news week. I know we still have to. I feel like we can knock through this other stuff. But
Y'all, listen. I'm just, you know, if you want to have representation of different types of people in your games, it would behoove you to hire them to talk about how they want to be represented in your games. And one of the things that would be most helpful in doing that is not doing something like, we're going to give you an option, but let you just pick what genitalia you have. Like, of all the things that you could put in your game as a customization option, that wasn't it. And yeah, I'm just going to leave that right there. That was not the thing you should have done. Like, just take that part of the game and throw that out. Please and thank you. Sign management.
It sounds like they're giving you the option to do that.
No, they did.
No, I'm saying
They
like just
did.
say, hey, don't assign genitalia. There you go. Now you don't even have to worry about it. You just don't have it.
Like, they like, it's one of those, here's the thing. That is a whole thing. That on your character customization options probably should just, I don't know, not actually be a choice that you have to. Why would you do this? Because you know people are going to be out here being absolutely ridiculous with it and out of pocket. You know they're going to be. Why would you do this?
Because a lot of people gonna get dinged.
It's just like, y'all, game development is a real thing. It's serious, it's difficult, but there are just some things that are like real simple choices, like of just, hey, this is a bad idea, don't do it. That was the one that they just should have known this was not the thing to do.
But and the thing is, so like they've got in trouble before because like one of their advertisements kind of like, jeez, I can't remember what the story was before, but yeah, like they got in some trouble about representation not too long after E3. I want to say it was last year.
Yeah, it was an ad.
Like,
Yeah.
It was an in-game ad for something.
For the exact same group of people, and for the exact same reason. They were just like, here's this person with like half of their naked body showing for no reason. Like, y'all, just when you don't have to, just don't. I am a personal fan of being a little bit extra, but there are just some points in extra you don't need to go to. They're just no-fly zones. You don't ever need to see those lands. This is one of them.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll get it right by the time it comes out in September. Rainbow Six Siege, obviously. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. Oh, I'm surprised this was not in that earlier list, but Assassin's Creed Valhalla was on that stream with gameplay. A whole 2 seconds.
2
2 seconds of gameplay. and the rest of it just cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be fair, I wasn't expecting a lot of gameplay out of today. I wasn't.
But I mean,
like,
don't
these
say,
people were trying to
don't say
make
you're
a
gonna see
case to get you to
gameplay.
buy the game and buy them some time.
But don't say it's a gameplay trailer then. Like, it's cut and dry. Don't say it's a gameplay trailer if you only gonna show 2
They did say,
seconds.
it's a gameplay trailer.
Huh?
I mean, yeah, they did say,
Yeah.
check out this gameplay
so
trailer.
you see gameplay of the game. Like, but we saw 2 seconds, if that, and most of it was cutscenes.
Yep.
Like, I don't play a cutscene. But yeah, so that happened. Of course, Outriders has been announced. Lord of Rings, Gollum, Gods and Monsters, Battlefield 6. Apparently, I don't remember that happening, but apparently that's a thing.
They're gonna keep at it. Okay.
Rainbow Six Quarantine, Watch Dogs Legion, WRC. Now we're just listing games that are just at this point.
Yeah.
You know, just as a thought here, a small one, about some of these games that they had on the lineup. Listen, Black Mirror said hey, we can't make this season 6. We need like 2020 to chill before we make a TV program about that. And what I'm going to say about that is this. These video game developers probably should have taken a similar note. They got full on body horror and everything is just like the world has gone like absolutely wild. Everything's broken down. Systems are awful. People are fighting dinosaurs and fighting for their lives. Y'all, I need a break.
To be fair, a lot of this was in the cooker, in the oven, long before this went down. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but what I'm hoping to see, is that after this, nobody's making these games anymore.
So I'll say this. There was a tabletop game where I legit am like, I might have to change the theme because of a place that they had to go and do things and stuff. Started lining up with the real world a little bit too well. And I'm just like, ooh, I might have to rewrite that whole thing of the game.
Skipping these pages. All right, cool. All right, we
skip.
A whole year has passed.
Yeah, I think we gotta do some rewrites. Hold up.
But yeah,
strike that through.
It's unfortunately, it was unfortunate that a lot of this shit was dark. And it's like they can't walk back on that. It's like there's so much money that been put into these games being developed and they're so close to release because apparently these are launch titles. That it's like, well, fuck it, we gotta go. Like, it's almost like hit and play. Realize you queued all these up beforehand, and you found it's like you queued up for a wedding, and you found the wedding's not gonna happen, but you played the playlist anyway. Like, look, this is what we had. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
That was. Yeah. I was literally like, I'm thinking like we're gonna get some I'm not saying we're gonna get like a wide slice of gaming. We're gonna get some dark. I know we're gonna get some dark, but then we're also gonna get some light. We're gonna get some peppy. I think the only 2 peppy games that were Madden and Yakuza.
Oh,
and
no,
I'm like
Dirt. Look, don't forget
and Dirt.
Dirt was very happy. Like, yo,
but the rest of it, but the rest of it was like the world is ending. Things are going on. Demons. It's our Giger. It was more.
I just want to point out that the screenshot that they chose for Scorn is this one statue just in the bosom of another one. And that was actually the tamest part of that whole damn trailer, to be honest.
The tamest.
Linux was like, let me step away from the screen. I just don't need to.
Worst.
You know that scene in The Matrix where they explain that robots are taking over things, dying, and they're plucking the energy from babies? That's the whole thing that it looked like. Yes. Except, what if instead of cutting away from that scene, they just left you there for another 2 minutes? That's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just.
And Linux was like,
so gross.
Linux was just out here at 11:27 a.m. Like, Father God, come and save me from these scornful children. Why are they out here like this?
Why are there so many polygons? Why have we given them so many polygons?
Too early for this.
And again, the most tasteful part of that trailer is this image.
Yeah, there. Because it was just like, it was just like a, yeah. It was just an assault on your eyeballs.
And then when you thought you were done, he's like, all right, everything's mellowing out. Then you get the Bloodlines 2 trailer. And it's like, why?
Everybody all that.
Why? Why are we doing any of this?
Like Hook's eyes bugged out, Hooks in their mouths looking like grotesque marionettes, and I'm like, I know somebody has come. Yeah.
Just after launch, I just hope like everything's just gonna be nice, bright, colorful. Because if you're telling, especially when these consoles come out, we're still going to be in shelter in place. We're going to have a part 2 of that. That's definite. If you're telling me I have to stay home, and these are the games I have to choose from during this launch, during this whole stay at home, like at that point, I'm just giving up gaming. At that point, because like this, I don't want to play any of this. Like, this is so dark. Why are we doing this?
Facts.
But yeah, so that's all that came out of the first Inside Xbox 2020. Of course, the next one is in July. Hopefully, at that point, we'll start seeing some first party stuff. And it's kind of weird. The next one's in July. I forget there's like a whole month of June where apparently things may go silent from them. Unless Microsoft's got some stuff that we don't know about. But yeah, the next Inside Xbox will be in July. So hopefully we'll hear some from their first party studios, see some more Halo, because that's long overdue. Maybe you'll hear some more from Gears. But yeah. Next up, Phil Spencer has stated that COVID-19 could delay Xbox Series X launch titles. Microsoft Game X VP Phil Spencer dropped by CNBC's Squawk Alley with a bit of good and bad news yesterday. The good news is that the Xbox Series X appears to be on track for its late 2020 release, despite COVID-19 impact on the global supply chain. The bad news is that some planned launch titles may not join the platform's launch after all. Spencer didn't confirm any specific delays, but explained to CNBC and viewers that game production is the bigger unknown in how COVID-19 might impact the Xbox Series X launch. Gentlemen,
so
do you think that even matters? Especially coming from Microsoft.
Here are my thoughts on this. Hi, welcome to 2020. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Things are going to be delayed. Next question. Like, why?
Well, it's not so much that, but I know we touched on this last week about Microsoft having Game Pass, Games of Gold, like they're just stupid amounts of games. We talked about the fact that Xbox had, like, the Series X has the smart delivery, and even then, so like their back compat is already out of the box. Anything that was on Xbox One should play on Series X. Do you think that people should be worried about new games coming to the system if they already have games to play?
Oh, I mean, I suppose more than that, it's the way that people, I guess, feel concerned about, hey, just so you know, some of that new stuff that we might be looking forward to, because they're still putting out like trailers of, hey, here's what's on our roadmap or whatever. If they tell you, hey, this is going to be here, but it might be delayed, I feel like it's kind of a preparation for some things might be delayed and we're not sure. And it's one of those, well, if they decide to try to crunch for it and people get mad, they're just going to be like, okay, well, we told y'all things were going to be delayed, so here we are. And I'm hoping that they do. Like, listen, Xbox, do the right thing. If you have to delay games, we can wait. You have like a whole library of stuff. This is supposed to be backward compatible. We have time. Y'all don't be out here beating down the doors of Xbox being like, please put these people in danger so that we can be entertained. Finish watching One Piece. It's 400 something episodes and counting at this point. Do something else. or play the rest of the video game library that you haven't downloaded from Steam, because I know y'all are sitting up there with a whole queue of like 50 plus games that you haven't even started yet, and you have the whole series from 1 to 6.
That's me.
Wow.
I feel attacked, but that's me.
Save here. I mean, to be fair, I've dipped into my backlog. I've been playing Civ 5, so there's that. I could be playing Civ 6. I could have bought Civ 6, but no, I played Civ 5 instead because I own that one. And now I can't really play anything else because I fall in love with Civ 5.
Are you invested? Because we're here for the investment.
Yeah, Civ 5 is it.
Yeah, I kind of am. It's
as somebody who's played Civ 5 and Civ 6, it's it.
I've heard that your first Civ is your favorite Civ. So that's why I'm kind of afraid to go to Civ 6. I was like, I don't think I'm going to like it because I played Civ 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I looked at Civ 6 and I don't know if I'm going to play that. I think I'm good at where I'm at.
There was
Most
one
of the people that I have talked to about Civ end up playing around 5. Like, they end up there for a solid minute. So from what I've heard, Civ 5 is pretty good.
It's
yeah,
really
Civ
good
5
from
is
what I
good.
played.
It's really good.
Okay, so do you think Microsoft should be worried that their launch title is going to be delayed?
No, of course not. Because, the one thing I can tell you about these things is these things. I'm not going to speak. I'm going to speak on like Game Pass, of course, and games with gold and all that stuff. And then if you buy on Xbox, games, Xbox at One X, it carries over to there. So yeah, that's fine. You're going to always have games, but oftentimes these things have like these boxes are basically like huge streaming set-top boxes. So even if it was like, oh, we're not going to have more games to play, I can still play my 4K Blu-rays on it. I can still watch 4K content. I can watch streaming. I can do it's not like, man, it's not like the PlayStation 1 or, the Xbox One where it's like, oh, there's no games on it. Nothing I can do with it. It's like you plug it in and magic happens. Like, you plug it in and you could do so much with it beyond just it anymore. Like, so it's like, well, I can go back and play Beyond Good and Evil till games come out. Or I can play, if it's like 6 games are supposed to come out for launch and they can only release like 4, ain't nobody gonna like, well, my 2. No, most people that I know who are crazy like this are gonna buy the whole launch. Launch. They're gonna get all the games for launch. Every game that came out for launch, they're gonna get this console, all the games for launch. So if they get missed like 2 or 3, they can still do it. Plus, again, you can still, how Microsoft works, you can still have access to these games. So I really myself don't see like people are like, oh, what am I gonna do with this awesome thing that I bought? Except play every Xbox One, access to every Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox One, game out there, plus whatever's on Game Pass. I don't think nobody's gonna be bored with it. I think it's just kind of like, oh, it sucks that it sucks that some of these games might not come out at launch. Okay, fine, sucks. And I'm disappointed for like 5 seconds, and then I'm like, all the other games. So
yeah, like for me, when I bought my first Xbox One, I bought it because I was watching E3. I think it was 2014, and they announced Forza Horizon 2, it's Forza Horizon 3. Forza Horizon 3. It's coming to Xbox, Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
I left from work that day, went directly to a Target, bought the Xbox. And the guy at the Target was like, do you want a game with it? I looked up, like, what? Well, it doesn't come with a game, right? Yeah, I'm good. Whatever. Dude, just get out of my face and sell me this Xbox. Like, I bought an Xbox to sit for 3 months.
Yeah.
So that way, I would have it ready for Forza Horizon 3 when it came out. But of course, like, in that time, I found other things to do with it. I found other things, like, I discovered Titanfall during that time. And like, Titanfall was amazing. I became a fan of Titanfall because I was waiting for Forza.
Right.
I think for me, like I bought a 3DS for Animal Crossing prior to Animal Crossing's release. Ended up playing Fire Emblem, and I became a Fire Emblem fan while I was waiting for Animal Crossing. I don't play Animal Crossing as much, but I will play the fuck out of some damn Fire Emblem. Now, granted, that's not the same for me and Forza. I like when Forza comes out. Oh, I'm gonna play a whole bunch of Forza, but let Titanfall 3 come out. I'll still be there for that too.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't use now. The point is, I don't use the Xbox for that. I use the PC for it.
Yeah, this is exactly what happened with my Switch. Like I bought my Switch. I was like, oh, there's new Animal Crossing coming out. Let me make sure I get the Switch before Animal Crossing comes out, and then because I'm not gonna find the Switch before Animal Crossing comes out. Smart thinking now, smart thinking now.
Sorry, Sam.
After the coronavirus, but so in the meantime of that, I played Mario Kart, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey, Smash Bros. I dabbled in some really good indie games. On top of that, I had a wealth of games to play on my Switch because I was literally like, I got my Switch and I had time so I just bided my time. And when Animal Crossing came out, I played a lot of that. I played I got almost like 200 hours in Animal Crossing now. And it's just, which to some, I'm kind of a lightweight, but, you don't say, that's the great thing about where we are with any console. We don't got to wait. Like, when we want something, we get access to play it. It's not like it's not like the Genesis where it's like, I'm playing the same 3 games and
kinda. I think this is the first generation where we technically don't have to wait. Like
exactly, we don't have to wait.
Going from PS3, PS4, and Xbox 360, Xbox One, there was some, but I don't think it was to this level.
No.
Because there was no smart delivery. Like if you bought an Xbox 360 and you wanted to get the Xbox One version, I think especially with Ubisoft, you had to pay them $10 if I'm not mistaken. This is I think we're now at a point where these consoles do have that backwards compatibility that's built in. It should be there throughout the entire lifespan to where, yes, if I buy a PS5, I can put my PS4 games in there. If I buy an Xbox Series X, I can play Xbox One, 360, and original Xbox games. Like, honestly, I'm more concerned for PlayStation at this point than I am Microsoft because PlayStation has not put out any news.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know if they have a smart delivery system. We don't know what their backwards compatibility plans are other than the PS5 could do that and only for the PS4.
Right.
Although what games they're supporting, because at one point they said like the top 100, and then they're like, "Oh no, we're going to support a lot more, but just not at launch."
We need to go ahead and talk about this for a second because you want to know what. One of the things to consider in this time while we're doing all this stuff, there were a lot of things that Microsoft had the ability to do because they came out of the gate with a whole game system made by a company that also makes computer OSs. So they already had both of those whole things covered.
Right.
And were able to develop their games along those lines from the beginning. Every other game system now, well, we didn't have to think about what would happen if people couldn't be within 6 feet of each other. That wasn't on the radar and hadn't been on the radar until the end of 2019. So we haven't heard anything, sure, but also I'm thinking that there's a lot of stuff that other systems are having to think about now about how to distribute things because they have to do them. And as with most things in like company, corporate spaces, and tech spaces, especially because, if you want to talk about some tech news, are having to think about how their structures for delivery work because people can't be near each other. Now, the reason why I talk about this is I believe there was a few days back where a whole bunch of different things just went out and services weren't accessible across like a number of different platforms because they use open source code that requires Facebook specifically to function. So there are like a good, like sizable chunk of sites that because they use this code that comes specifically from Facebook, if Facebook fails, like there are like a good sizable chunk of websites, like obviously Instagram, WhatsApp, and a whole bunch of other things and services that just will not work.
Right.
And it's one of those, we don't understand. And I think gaming companies are having to deal with the fact that there's not a lot of literacy around how interconnected we are with all this technology and what it's built on and how it's sourced and all of that. And that's going to impact all of these delivery systems and smart delivery and all this other stuff that Microsoft very specifically is in a really good place not to have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like
Indeed.
They own the whole thing.
It was one of those, I have to wonder if that was like one of those, this is a really handy perk. We didn't expect it, but goodness knows it's useful right now.
Right. It's like when I tell people, look, I built my space in my house for completely different reasons, but boy, is it serving me in this pandemic right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I built my safe space just to get away from the world, but boy, it's keeping me safe from it right now. So, yeah. Like, it's nice little happy coincidences. I mean, and it's good to see Microsoft thriving in such a way, like finally being able to leverage all the tools that they have at their disposal to weather the storm and actually kind of come out on top. I still don't know, like, it's still weird though, because not knowing what Sony is doing, while I mean, they have every right to not tell us, it still seems just kind of weird. Just say something. Just say
exactly.
This whole behind closed doors thing seems really, really weird. I don't know. It's just weird, and again, like it for me. Like I don't know. I've gone from Android to iOS, and like it's weird for me going like from Sony to Microsoft right now when it comes to this game space, because like Phil took the lead on it, especially when again, like I mentioned last week, Satya Nadella was going to axe the Xbox division, but Phil Spencer turned that shit around. Satya thinking twice now. Like I'm pretty sure he got like 20 Xboxes now. Like that's right, I'm Team Xbox all day. Fuck Microsoft Office. I'm Xbox. That's our most profitable platform, but it's probably not. It's probably like Windows Server or something, or just Windows period. But you know,
Yeah.
Now switch some gears here. I'm gonna move this tab out of the way so it stops pulling up. Switching gears here, things that we're talking about Xbox. Might as well go to this next Xbox story. Apparently there's an unhappy Xbox player who is filing a lawsuit against Microsoft for stick drift. Microsoft has been hit with a class action lawsuit that claims its Xbox One controllers, like the Nintendo's Joy-Cons, suffer from stick drift. As reported by VGC, the class action complaint, which was filed on the 20th of April in Washington by Donald McFadden, maintains that customers paying to repair their controllers after the 90-day warranty expires are allegedly paying to repair a known fault.
Oh, y'all really bored in this quarantine. Y'all are really bored.
I'm actually, so I pulled this. I would have probably ignored it, but I pulled it because I actually experienced the same things, and I thought it was just me. Both my Xbox One Elite controller and it may be something wrong with just whatever's going on with the Xbox controllers in general, because even my, Power A controller are exhibiting stick drift. Like I noticed it, so I don't notice it on, I've been noticing it on Xbox recently, but because I've been using the controllers on PC, when I play, I noticed it when I was playing Watch Dogs. My character would keep moving forward, even when I set the controller down. And we're just like, cause like, you sit on stream, you're talking to your community, talking to your audience. All of a sudden, Marcus just keeps walking, just out of nowhere. So I'm on his side with this one. I believe that there is an issue because both of my Xbox One controllers are having the stick drift. I plugged into my PS4, nothing. I plugged the Xbox controllers into the system, did like the controller diagnostics, and like the numbers keep moving even though the controller is sitting still.
And it's like, do they have a replacement policy for these? I mean, I don't know.
And see, it seems like they have a 90-day warranty, but people are paying to get these controllers repaired outside of the 90 days. And my controller, I have the first Xbox Elite controller, so it's way past 90 days. Like, I bought this controller when Division 1 came out. So yeah, like, that's already past the 90 days. This third-party controller, Microsoft is not going to cover this. But I got it for free because I participated in GameStop Cares for Autism Awareness, so they sent me the controller. So yeah, I kind of believe he does have a legitimate claim in this one. Apparently, Young Boy says that 2 of his PS4 controllers got drift. So I don't know. Maybe his controllers aren't built like they're supposed to. They don't make them like they used to.
Don't.
That being said, do we feel like a whole lawsuit is necessary, or can man just be like, hey, can you exchange this? The stick is drifting.
But see, I think that's what it is. Like, they're not doing it because it's outside of the 90-day warranty, and they're having to pay for the repairs.
Right.
For something they feel like Microsoft knows is an issue.
I think
it's one of those things where I'm like, I stand the following through and like sticking up for things where these principles are concerned, but lawsuit money. This man's about to throw his whole tax return into fixing this Xbox controller.
But see, if it's a class action, multiple people just hop on. If they win, the lawyers would get paid through Microsoft, and everybody who joined onto the lawsuit will probably get like $5.
I'm curious to see how this ends up.
Like, honestly, I was looking for a link because I was probably going to join up on it. Just to say, for me, it's like, hey, I'm having this issue because the way they handle class action lawsuits is they send you some random email. Because I'm pretty sure, like, I think I could have got money from the Yahoo lawsuit, but I did not want to click through it because, like, no, this looks sketchy and I'm good. I just wanted to let you know that, hi, I also have this issue. If it means you're going to fix it, then okay. Because, like, especially, all right, let's say if I do get the new Xbox, so let's say if I just buy the new Xbox controller for my PC, I don't want to have to deal with that with the new controller too. Like, that's my only thing. I just don't want to have to deal with it again if I buy a new controller. Because let's face it, I'm buying more Xbox controllers and PlayStation controllers.
Do you think we're going to start seeing this more often in the future? Because we might have to fight some people about this. Like, y'all can't be out here rolling out this whole PS5 with your redesigned logo, but having like drifting sticks and all this other stuff with 90-day warranties.
I mean,
I think that's what we're going to do.
Walk within 6 feet with that controller to throw hands, or we will learn how to hit you in the head from 10 feet away with the same controller. Pick one of them.
Like, make a Joy-Con spin just nicely. Yeah. See, that's it.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's exactly what we have to do. I'm just saying, that's exactly what we have to do. We have to, like, sue people because it's gotten to the point now where it's like we pay way too much money. We invest way too much money into these things. And I'm not saying these things got to live forever. And I know things like all things break, Valor Margulius and all that. But you can't keep having stuff just like, if it's like 6 months, a year, and something break and something is drifting, that's something that needs to be addressed, and that's something needs to be fixed in the revisions. Then have people be like, okay, swap it out for a new one. That needs to be covered in the revision. In the next runs.
Yeah, I mean, but you're absolutely right. It's unfortunate that money has to play that issue.
Right.
Because I mean, it's not enough that where people say, "Hey, like it's broken." Like there are a lot of us here who say it's broken. They're like, "Well, maybe I just got a bad batch." But then like, yeah, Monk's all right, maybe we'll look into it now. Like, it's sad that it gets down to that, but yeah.
Anybody can do that. Anybody can be like, okay, next runs. Okay, turn those in. Here's the next run. and we'll make sure that we'll do more extensive testing on the next revision of like controllers. Like that's it. That should be it.
Yeah, like because I'm a crazy person. Like now that I've been having that stick issue, like I'm looking to replacing my Elite controller with the second gen. But it's like, do I want to pay that just to have to deal with the same issue? So
No.
It'd be interesting to see where this goes. Like one, it's a lawsuit. Lawsuits suck. I just hope that it goes into, hey, we'll look into it, we'll fix the issue, and the next iteration of these controllers, when they're available, won't have these problems down the road.
Exactly.
I mean, because to be fair, like I've owned that controller. I've owned the controllers for a while, like for years, and have only experienced it now. So I've no issue with it, but yeah, like if people are having these issues early on, like earlier, then yeah, that still does suck. And I kind of hope that when I look to replace my controllers, I don't have to deal with that problem. Last bit of Microsoft news before we roll on. Halo 2 Anniversary Edition comes to Steam and Xbox Game Pass next week. How y'all feeling? We're getting closer to finishing that fight on PC.
I'm good with that. It's crazy. It's like we had Halo Combat Evolved on PC, and then nothing, and then now it's like, okay, Halo 2 now.
Well, I mean,
What about Alex?
Alex?
There was a whole VR Halo thing or something like that.
Oh, you're talking
That
about
we got?
Half-Life.
We're talking about Half-Life. I was like, what?
My
was
bad.
I was like,
I don't do first-person shooters. Okay, don't come for me.
I was like, Alex.
Oh,
and I was
actually, y'all
like,
dragged me. I got that wrong.
is that Half-Life?
There's just kind of like, hold on, did I miss something?
Oh,
No, that was all right. My bad.
But yes, Halo 2 Anniversary Edition is coming to Steam and Xbox Game Pass. Of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention that it's also coming to Linux. I can attest to you that Halo does play amazingly well on Linux, which just seems like the most blasphemous thing. But when I was testing Linux gaming a month ago, that was one of the games I loaded up, which is weird because I have Game Pass. I could easily just download Halo, but I bought the collection just so I could play it on Steam and Linux. Just to prove it could work. So now I have 2 copies of this game. Yeah, so if you are looking for some more Halo on PC, definitely check it out. Next week should be available. I'm looking for May 12th. So next Tuesday.
I gotta give like a light hand clap of praise to Microsoft for like following through and like releasing games on Steam. I mean, they didn't have to. They certainly didn't have to, because they already got their own little like platform that they're trying to work with. But shout out to them to actually being like, we want two checks, we want double the payments, we want it on Steam, and we want it on Microsoft Store. And so I'm really glad that Microsoft is doing the thing where they're like releasing games on Steam, giving people the ability to play on these platforms. Because I mean, it's all Windows, but still, it's just great. It's just great that they're doing it. So hand clap of praise to Phil Spencer for that. Hand clap of praise.
Well done. We see you over there in the back row. God bless you.
Like I say, in the back row with on my own pew. Been social distancing since '84.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can now put the rumors to rest. We now may know who was responsible for The Last of Us 2 leaks from last week. A new report intimates that The Last of Us 2 was allegedly leaked by hackers who infiltrate Naughty Dog's private servers. In a brief
Uh-huh.
summary on Twitter, Bloomberg's good job, Jason Schreier from hopping over to Bloomberg from Kotaku. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier reported that after talking to people with direct knowledge of the incident, a security vulnerability opened a backdoor into Naughty Dog servers and intimated that the spoilerific footage likely originates from an early build. So the rumors before that apparently this was leaked because of a disgruntled employee has been squashed. Nobody purposely did it outside of what appears to be hackers.
The old hackers did it. Mm-hmm.
Which still may explain. I mean, so even into like I know like the whole conversation is because of this. Is this the reason why The Last of Us 2 has finally gotten a release date? Again, I still don't think that it's related. I don't know because again, like a lot of this was a logistics issue as to whether or not, they could really release a game under these specific circumstances. Because again, like the one thing I think everybody was talking about was disc printing. Would they be able to print the disc and have these shipped to stores or have these be available in retail for people to order and get shipped to their homes? But like, who knows? Sony is not telling anybody anything. Like whether or not the disc had been printed. The fact that Jason Schreier or anybody, especially Jason Schreier of all people, hasn't told us that. Oh yeah, they had disc printed forever. Like that's totally a thing. Like I feel like he of all people would have told us.
Yeah.
What that situation was. So I still feel like they may have solved those logistical issues. It just happened to coincide with this leaked footage.
It lined up ever so nicely. It was like, it's just like, too strong a coincidence.
Or and here's a question, just thought about it because I'm just always thinking. Do you think that they found the solution to the logistics issues and just wasn't going to say anything? They were just going to let it rock for all this time. And this actually did force their hands.
I think they did. I think they did because I feel like they probably would have made a grand show of it, like in May, and then kind of like steal some news cycles and be like, hey, this. But it kind of like the release. I mean, not the release. The hack, the leak. That kind of like tempered it down a bit, and it's like, I mean, we're gonna have to drop the trailer. We're gonna have to like drop it, but it's kind of like it kind of tempered the release a bit. It kind of like,
but do you think they
dulled it down a bit?
Do you think they would have announced a release date for June?
Yeah, I think they would have. Because I mean, it would literally be part of the news cycle. It'd be like game series that everyone loved is actually coming out, and it's coming out next month. Everybody would have loved that.
But I'm saying, like, all right, let's say if it didn't leak, let's say if these things didn't leak, do you think they would have mentioned anything?
I think they would have.
Like they would have just let it rock until the PS5 release.
See,
we also have to talk about the reporting that came out around this and all this other stuff. Man, listen, I understand that in the time that we live in, attention is everything, and trying to be the first to things isn't even about prestige at this point as much as making sure you're the first person who has someone's attention. But like this stuff carries. It takes 0.2 seconds for everything you say, if you say it to the right person, to reach like 1 million people.
Right.
Don't listen. That article didn't even issue a retraction. Y'all need to be out here issuing retractions for this stuff. It is harming people.
Right.
Make another article and say, hey, we fucked up. Like, that's it. Hey, we was wrong. My bad. Yeah.
And see, that's the one thing I like about Jason Schreier. Like, he did not report on a disgruntled employee.
Right.
Like, I don't think I heard. He just said, "Hey, it was leaked."
It was leaked.
But the next thing you hear from him was, "It was not a disgruntled employee like everybody thought. I talked to actual people,
right.
and they just got hacked."
Mm. We
That
just,
being said, the T is, how did these hackers find out about this stuff? Why would they happen to be looking? Like, who was just cruising along and thought, this would be a really good thing to check out? What
I
if
mean,
they had this? What if they just had?
It's COVID-19 and you got nothing to do and you really, really, really want some Last of Us.
I mean, I know y'all were looking for something to add to GitHub or whatever, but listen, it wasn't that serious. Leave these people alone.
I mean, again, you got people who are spoiling. Like, I think like the last time something big like this was happening, you had people who were waiting outside for the last Harry Potter film. And you had other people driving by spoiling the end of the movie.
yeah.
So, yeah, like they're just going to be assholes.
Yeah. There's going to be people. There's going to be people that just, it's like Joker in a Dark Knight setting the money on fire. It's like, hey, we just want to see the world burn. Like, there's people just want to see the world burn. Like, it's not about the fact that we're going to spend the money. It's the fact that we just want to see, we're just going to cause as much shit as we can, because why not?
And so going back to like about people jumping to conclusions with this, like I found this part interesting. I think the footage that leaked is from Devs playing an early build. I haven't watched it. Most importantly, rumors of this being an act of protest by a contractor whose pay was robbed are not true. Naughty Dog actually extended pay and healthcare benefits for contractors due to COVID. Like that line right there. That would say, why would somebody be upset if they were getting fucking paid? No money was taken out of anybody's mouth. Like nobody's money was taken out of the bag.
No.
But yeah, like the thing that people were reporting on was that, it could have been a disgruntled employee because it was delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody cares. Like I don't think any employee would care that damn much.
Because it's like, and then it's like, oh, we find out it's not delayed until inevitable. It's like the whole me saying like it's going to be delayed indefinitely. That was kind of weird to me because I'm like, everything is delayed.
2 seconds to get here. It's delayed it got delayed until May the 9th.
Yeah,
on April 2.
Yeah, I would literally say like, hey, we're still working on it, so don't expect it to come out on this particular day. We can't tell you yet, but it's not going to come. I would literally say like it's not going to be delayed, but it's not going to come out the way you expect, and just like keep checking on our Twitter account for more information. Don't say like, oh, it's going to be delayed indefinitely next month. Oh, it's actually going to come out next month. It's like that's not indefinite. Because it's like, but huh? They're like, it's like, I would rather someone says, it's going to come out when it comes out. We'll let you know it'll come out.
But
and then instead of it like,
literally the same thing.
No, just say, but instead of saying it's definitely means like, we don't know. I mean, we don't know. But if it says, hey, it's not going to be dang, but we'll let you know when it comes out. All right, cool. And people would have been, so that way people would have been okay. Say, yeah, he said it's going to come out when it comes out. So, just keep an eye out. It definitely means like maybe summer, maybe fall, maybe like PS5 come out. We don't know,
I mean, indefinite's over here like, let's get this presidency stuff sorted out first, then we can talk about these games.
Yeah,
that's where we're at with that.
We got a virus and a presidency we got to worry about first. Then we can worry about, the killer fungus.
Right. Yeah, the killer fungus, cordyceps.
I mean, we now have killer wasp out now.
Mm-hmm.
Chat's out here with the Kingdom Hearts 3 shade. Indefinite is literally the release timeline for Kingdom Hearts 3. You're just like, at some point in the future.
Yeah, that is Kingdom Hearts. That was Kingdom Hearts 3.
You can put on this like, let's see, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Duke Nukem Forever, any Grand Theft Auto, The Witcher, Cyberpunk, Metal Gear. Like,
right.
There are plenty of games where it's like it's indefinite. Half-Life. Actually, I think we found out Half-Life 3 has just been canceled now, but
Mm-hmm.
they may bring it back. But Half-Life 3 has been canceled, but we waited about 10 years before we found out that Half-Life 3 was canceled.
Mm-hmm. People didn't think we were gonna get a Diablo 4 until we got Diablo 4. When we thought we was gonna get that phone app, and like, don't you guys have phones? And I'm like, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, Diablo 4 come out, yay!
But see, that was them fixing that. That was them making good.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was them making good for last year, but not for what was going on that same year.
Yeah.
Like, y'all, Blizzard, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh.
Last gaming story this week, because we got about 20 minutes. Summer Game Fest is collecting displaced E3 announcements into a season of online events. As we've likely all heard, E3 is off this year thanks to the global COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. To replace the week-long announce-orama that happens each June, Jeff Keighley, Mr. Game Awards and Death Stranding cameo man himself, has announced a 4-month-long online event called the Summer Game Fest, running from May until August. Looks like he's corralled all the usual big swingers together to deliver their planned announcements, trailers, and demos under his new banner, The King is Dead, Long Live the King, I suppose. If anybody was able to do this, it was Jeff Keighley.
Hand clap of praise for Jeff Keighley. Hand clap of praise. Yeah, polite clapping for Jeff Keighley. Because, Jeff Keighley got the logistics. He got the connections. He got the clout. He can literally say, like, hey, it's going to be done. And he did it. We're going to have a standard video game award show that's just going to be called the Video Game Awards. And that's it. And me and shout out to Big Willie-isms. We covered that bad boy. We roasted it. We had a great time with it. And that's what I'm saying. If anybody could do this, just as what Major says, if anybody could do it, it's Jeff Keighley. The man has the Midas touch when it comes to video games. I mean, that's just how it goes. Like, that's just how it goes.
For those of you who might be interested in keeping an eye on that, let me just go ahead and slide that. If you just want to peek that link right there, you can keep track of all of that good news.
Yes.
Straight from the article.
Oh wow! So this was actually on that. So
at the bottom of the article, they should have said you can keep up to date right there on the website. They got you.
Right there.
They trying to like this though.
Unlike some people, they trying to keep you informed though. Did you
signed up to be notified?
I just need to put that in there.
Click that. I'm clicking that link. Oh yeah.
So I did not know this Inside Xbox was actually scheduled to be on there. So wow.
Kudos. It's a nicely designed.
So apparently on Tuesday, Sunrise #1 joined Jeff Keighley for a surprise game reveal. And I like how you can add this to a calendar.
We need to talk about how Jeff came through with exactly what everyone wanted. He's just like, we're going to go ahead and just give y'all limited trials of these games. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're not going to... We know that we can't gather everybody from everywhere, so we're just going to make sure that y'all can actually test this gameplay and tell us what you think about it. And I'm like, give that man a raise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pretty sure he pays himself at this point, but...
It does. He does. Like, this is awesome right here.
He even got PlayStation on the list.
What? Shut the front door. See,
he getting PlayStation to talk.
I mean, what?
Maybe he could talk Riot into getting rid of their DRM or their anti.
I mean, if anybody can do it, Jeff can do it.
Listen, one miracle at a time, okay?
Yeah, that's right. You're right. I mean, this is nice right here. Like, and let you add it to 3 different calendars. Like,
yeah, like I just added Sunrise #1 to my Google Calendar. Actually, you could subscribe to the calendar.
Yeah.
You can subscribe to the whole damn calendar.
Wow.
So yeah, in May we have the Inside Xbox Sunrise #1. In June, the Steam Game Festival Summer Edition. You can play and wishlist upcoming PC games on Steam. Looks like they have the Night City Wire stream from CD Projekt Red, Cyber 2077 information. EA Play Live is also on June 11th. So that's E3 stuff. So I imagine some others are probably going to pop up then too. July 11th, TennoCon 2020. And in August, Gamescom opening night live, which she was obviously hosting then too. See, I imagine that this is going to get bigger as, time goes on. Which I imagine, at this point when you're subscribing to any of these calendars, you'll get those updates as they come out. They'll pop on your calendar. So yeah, I think I might I'm gonna do that right now. Watch me live on air, hop into my calendar, and you can see everything that's happening.
I think Jeff did the impossible. I think he sidestepped E3 and has made his own thing and extended it out through the whole month.
I mean, to be
with
fair,
events.
he saw the writing on the wall with E3 anyway, and before, just when the pandemic was starting to get bad, he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to just skip E3."
Mm-hmm.
And I think I Am 8-Bit pulled out not too long after that.
Mm-hmm. Saw the writing on the wall. The man out here playing chess, and some of you guys out here playing checkers. This man's playing 3-dimensional chess out here.
And the ESA is playing Go Fish.
Yep.
Just by itself.
Go Fish and Old Maid.
It's Old Fish with Cards Against Humanity cards.
Got any
Exactly. See, it don't even work. The joke doesn't even work because it's just that damn bad. It's just that damn bad of an analogy. But that's what the ESA is out here doing.
These people out here playing Go Fish by themselves. You'll love it.
Like my own E3 with blackjack. Oh boy. So yeah, shout out to Jeff Keighley doing the damn thing when it needs to be done. Somebody's finally doing it right.
But I mean, here's the thing. Wasn't this back on podcast 1 where we were just like, you know what they're going to end up doing? Someone's going to mess around over here and they're going to come up with their own thing because it was like, oh, this is going to be the thing that killed E3. Spoiler alert. No, it wasn't. It just wasn't. Okay, listen. We saw that thing swirling around the edge of the drain for a good couple of years. All right, this isn't new. Y'all are gonna 2020 game journalism. I need y'all to not come through over here and be like, this is the event that killed E3. Yeah. That wasn't. This is not it. This is not the take to have. Go have a toaster strudel and go rewrite that headline. Thanks.
It didn't kill it, but it's definitely doing the 2-step on his grave now.
Yeah, it ain't helping.
Do the 2-step.
And let's face it.
Sesh, listen, you're not wrong though.
This is the game that will take down World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And that's it for the news. Of course, I want to wrap it up here. If you have any Pixel devices, you may want to update your phone. The May 2020 update is out there, ready for you to get update. Also, I do want to mention that if you are brave enough to do so, the iOS 13.5, I think it's a 13.5 beta, is out. And it does have the Apple contact tracing API support. So if you want to brave that, I don't know what apps are out there that use it, but apparently both my iPad and my iPhone are running that beta. So if you want to get the public beta of iOS 13.5 that has the contact tracing APIs that Apple has developed alongside Google, have at it. It's out. That being said, I guess I don't have to worry about a host tonight because, as I've said before, we've got Gong Julie joining the stream at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time in just 10 minutes to help raise funds for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital as part of their Play Live event this year. Of course, you can also help us out. We've got the bar up top. Let's see, where are we at? Where are we at on that?
And also repping for that Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Thank you. Because of Anka, we forget to mention that because she didn't put that in the calendar. So, but yeah, we're at 10, almost at 11,000 raised of the 1250. So definitely, if you can, I know times are hard now, but it's definitely harder for these families who are trying to get treatment for the children. So if you can, if you have even a little bit to donate, please do so. I think we have a command, St. Jude's. Let me see here. I'm going to type it into this chat. We do, because I think I fixed that. So definitely click the link in the chat. There should be a button down below the stream to donate if you feel oh so kind to do so. Yep, that's gonna do it for us this evening. Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Sin. Really do appreciate it so much. Of course, we get out here, try to do this every week. Try to keep you guys up to date on what's going on in the tech space. Let you know what's coming out there. Even though, again, Xbox first, their launch lineup is looking pretty dystopian and scary. But yep, that does it for us this evening. Of course, you guys could have been anywhere in the world, watching any stream in the world. You could have been reading the tech news yourself, but we all know you were so lazy to do it, and it is our pleasure to read it to you. This has been the Tech Talk Podcast, episode number 5 for May 7th, 2020. Thank you so much. And of course, we see y'all next week. Peace out.
Ranger.